What's going on, everybody? Steve here, Raking Profit, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to use the new BeCool repricer and SellerAmp integration. I'll tell you right now, I am super excited about this integration. I just watched their webinar a couple days ago and I've implemented everything into my business. I've trained my entire team and how to use this new integration update. And in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you everything you need to know to take advantage of the BeCool and SellerAmp integration. In this video, there's 5 main things that I'm going to be talking about and showing you to help you implement this in your business. Number 1, I'm going to show you firsthand how to integrate BeCool with SellerAmp so they can communicate with one another and you can take advantage of this really cool integration. Also, if you don't have BeCool or you don't have SellerAmp, you can find links down below to get some extended free trials so you can start using them right away. Number 2, I'm gonna show you firsthand how to export data from SellerAmp to BeCool to save time repricing. Number 3, I'm gonna show you how to update your BeCool repricer directly from inside SellerAmp when you're like just literally on a sales page. Number 4, I'm gonna show you how you can use SellerAmp and BeCool together to reprice your inventory faster when you're inside of BeCool. And last but not least, number 5, I'm going to break down the complete workflow, everything that I've done in my business to train my team how to use this new update. And I'll tell you right now, this update is actually really beneficial and it's gonna save my team a ton of time. All right, guys, so without further ado, let's dive into this video and let's take advantage of this really cool integration. All right, so we're inside of my computer right now. And before we get started, I did want to let you know that BeCool put out a really great post on how to integrate SellerAmp with BeCool. So I'm going to walk you through these steps, but they have some really great documentation that breaks down exactly how to do this. So I'll also put the link to this down below if you're not able to follow along on the video if I'm moving too quickly. So I'll put that down below so you can definitely check that out. All right, so we're over here at BeCool right now. You can see I'm inside of my dashboard, and that's one of the things I love about BeCool. They have a really nice dashboard where you can see your sales, your orders, your buy box, so on and so forth. You can see so far this month, I've had 58,000 in sales so far for the month. The last 30 days, 71,000. And this is all with eBay to Amazon. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know I've transitioned from thrifting to eBay to Amazon. And this year, the goal is to do $1 million in sales. All right, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go up to listings and click active listings. All right, next you're going to go over to settings and you're going to click general. All right, so we're inside of the general settings right now, and you can see that I've already turned my SellerAmp integration on. Yours will be off, and when you turn it on, it's actually going to bring you over to SellerAmp to put in your BeCool token. So I think the best thing that I could do right now is pass this video off to Samuel at BeCool, and I want to show you a short clip from the webinar that shows exactly what you're going to need to do. And then you're going to have to go into BeCool and save it. That's really important. So let me pass it off to Samuel to show you how to complete this integration.
So you're going to go into settings and then you click on general. And then once you're in general, you just have to toggle it on. And once you toggle it on, it'll bring you to the SellerAmp page automatically. Then it's going to copy the token. And then then you just press connect right here. And then you're going to see like connection has been updated like super fast. And then this is where everybody forgets to do. Like, I was always a good student and I always saved my work. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then so you have to save, right? Yes. So you go back into BeCool and then you got to go down here and press save. Yeah. And then so this way, then the integration works. All right, so remember, you have to save.
All right, guys, so now that you've integrated BeCool with SellerAmp, what you're going to want to do is pull up a sales page and then have SellerAmp pull up. And you're going to want to go down here to the bottom where it says settings and click that. All right, and we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And what you're going to want to be looking for is BeCool. Now, BeCool, essentially, it's going to be off for you. So you're going to see it all the way down here at the bottom and it's going to say off. So what you're going to want to do is drag that all the way up so you can actually move it just like this. And I like to have it all the way at the top. You can move it wherever you would like it. And you're going to want to make sure to turn it on. And then once you do that, you're going to go down to the bottom and click save. All right, so now if you put it all the way to the top, you're going to see BeCool right here. Okay, so let's keep moving with this video and let's start to talk about how you can actually use this and how it's going to be able to benefit you in your business. All right, so now that we are back on the sales page, we've got BeCool set up. What we're going to actually do is we're going to play a little scenario. So let's just say that we purchased this item. Maybe we purchased it from eBay, and let's just say we paid $35. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to click export new listing. And this is how we're going to be able to export the data from the sales page from SellerAmp to BeCool. So let's click export new listing. And this is really cool. So you're going to see that BeCool is now popped up and it says you can update cost, min max price, repricing rule, and export to BeCool. Okay, so you're going to see we have our marketplace. This is the ASIN. Now you're going to select if it's FBA or FBM. I'm FBA, new or used. I sell new. And what do we say we paid? Let's just say we paid $35. And here you can put additional cost. So for example, in my business, it costs about $2 with my VAs if I was to average it all out to purchase an item. And then I have a $2, about $1.50 prep fee. And then I have some supplies and stuff. So I always put an additional cost of $4. And then we're going to choose our minimum and maximum price. So you could go into Keepa and you could analyze the deal and take a look. So you can take a look and see it's been selling for around 100 recently. The low is like maybe 79. Let's just make up some numbers here. Let's say that we are going to put our minimum price at $89.99. We're going to put our max at maybe $104.99. And again, when it comes to repricing, I'll spend a lot more time really diving deeper into the Keepa chart, going into the buy box stats, taking a look at the rotation, taking a look at where FBA sellers have been priced before. We could talk about that in another video. But let's just say I put my minimum at $89.99, my max at $104.99. And this is the important part. You have to choose your settings, okay? So what type of repricer do you want to choose? The maximizer, booster, equalizer is kind of like middle of the road. It's not going to be too aggressive. It's not going to, tank your price. It's not going to go to the highest, lowest. It's going to be kind of in the middle. Maybe you want a little more profit. You can do AI grow profit, or maybe you want to maximize profit, which will go more towards like your highest price. You'll have to pick a setting. I've made videos about this before. Let's put AI equalizer. And what you're going to do is you're going to click export. All right. So essentially what you're going to have to do at this point is give it about 5 minutes. So what's happening here is SellerAmp has taken all that information that's been integrated with BeCool, and it's going to be sending it over to BeCool. But there's one important thing that you have to make sure that you do, and you have to be aware where it's being exported to, because it's not being exported to your BeCool active listings. There's actually a SellerAmp tab that I want to show you, and I want to break down kind of like how you can find this and a couple nuances that you have to be aware of. All right, so we're back over on BeCool, and what you're going to want to do is click listings, and you're going to notice now that you're integrated with SellerAmp, not only do you have active listings and delisted listings, but now there's a SellerAmp listings area. So when you export your information from SellerAmp to BeCool, like we just did, it's going to actually be exported to this area called SellerAmp listings. And at first, this was a little confusing to me. I was thinking to myself, like, well, how does it get to the active listings? Is it going to automatically go over? Is there something special I have to do? It's actually pretty simple. So let's break down what you're going to have to do and how this works once you export it from SellerAmp into this area of SellerAmp listings inside of BeCool. All right, so we just clicked SellerAmp listings, and now you're going to see that we're able to manage the listings that we've exported from SellerAmp. So this is kind of like a holding ground. Essentially, what has happened is it's exported all the information from SellerAmp into this area, and you're going to see the status. A lot of these are pending because I just started using this a couple of days ago. Date created, date uploaded, date updated. You have your ASIN, fulfillment center, condition, the cost. Okay, so what you paid for the item. If you have an FBA shipping cost, that'll be there. Your additional cost, which I added $4, your min, your max, your rule, and then repricing status. So you need to make sure that it is enabled, because I've had a couple of my listings that were paused. I'm not sure why, but you want to put enabled. And the reason why, and essentially what's happening here, is this is a holding ground until the item actually gets checked in and the catalog gets updated, and then they'll send that over to BeCool and it'll become active. One of the annoying things in my business previously is, we would have to wait for the catalog to get updated and for it to get checked in. And then, our items would become available for sale, and our min and our max wouldn't be inside. Well, now you could export everything into the SellerAmp area. And as long as it's enabled, once the catalog gets updated and once it becomes active and live, all of these listings are then going to get moved from the SellerAmp listings area over to your active listings. So the cool thing about this is no longer you're going to have to go in every single day and, the new active listings, you're going to have to update and go find your buy costs and min and max. And I'm sure there's some ways that folks, maybe with, other softwares, you can bulk upload, so on and so forth. But this makes it so easy. It's literally like so simple and streamlined. So all you have to do is export everything in here. Make sure you filled out your costs, your additional costs, buy price, min, max. You set up your rule, make sure your repricing status is enabled. And once it becomes live, it's automatically going to move out from the SellerAmp listings area into the active listings area. How cool is that? Now, one of the cool features of this integration is, let's just say that you're doing some product research, or maybe you clicked on a sales page of an item that is live and active. You can literally see, the different SKUs that you have available, and you can go in and click update just like this. And you can update your product costs. Maybe if you made a mistake, add additional fees. Mostly you're going to be using it to update your minimum price, your max price, your repricer rule, but that's how you can quickly reprice even when you're doing product research. So now every single time you land on a sales page, you're going to have this pop up and you're going to be able to see if this is an item that you've sold before, listed before, how many different custom SKUs you have. And literally you can just go in, click update and reprice. I mean, that is just fantastic. These guys did such a great job at this integration. All right. So now we're in my active listings. You can see I have 243 active listings right now. And I want to show you this cool little feature right here. So you see that there's a SellerAmp button down here at the bottom now. And what's really cool about this is when you click this, SellerAmp will actually pop up on the screen and you can analyze the item much quicker, because previously when I had to reprice, I would have to click the ASIN, go into Keepa, so on and so forth, and, go into data and buy box analytics and all that and look at a bunch of different data points. But now you can literally click SellerAmp. It'll pop up on the screen and you can literally just analyze and reprice the item right there without having to click through to a whole bunch of different pages. That's awesome. So literally all you have to do is hit the SellerAmp button and then SellerAmp will pop up on the side and you can see all your information, how many you've sold, your product costs. This was just a little thrift store flip that I had right here. But the great thing about SellerAmp, especially if you configure your settings correctly, you can see Keepa, you can see buy box analysis, all the sellers that have been on the listing, the charts, the live offers. So it just makes it so much easier when you're going in and repricing to have access to all this data at your fingertips. So guys, hopefully you can see how beneficial this integration is. For me now, in terms of what my team is doing, is after they purchase an item, and after we update all of our spreadsheets, what we do is we immediately export the item to SellerAmp. So what my team does now is they fill out the quantity, condition, the product cost, the min, the max. They set up the repricing rule, and then they'll export it. So then what they're going to do is go into BeCool. They're going to go under the SellerAmp listings. They're going to make sure it's enabled, and they're pretty much good to go. And we have a part on our spreadsheet that we just added that says BeCool exported. So for every item that we purchase, and again, we buy all of our items from eBay and flip it on Amazon. That's how I've done over $750,000 in the last year. There's a bunch of different ways that, people are purchasing OA, thrift stores, garage sales, so on and so forth. But that's what we do. We update our spreadsheet. And again, we make sure that inside of, the SellerAmp active listings within BeCool, that it's enabled, because once that item becomes checked in, it's going to automatically move it from the SellerAmp active listings to your active listings within BeCool, so you can reprice all of your inventory from one location. Again, when we're repricing now, having that SellerAmp button there is very, very beneficial. It's awesome when we're doing product research. Maybe I stumble upon this item and I notice it's been sitting for a while. I can reprice it directly from the sales page, which is really cool. It does take about 5 minutes or so. So when you update this, just know there's a little bit of a lag because, obviously it has to communicate, pull all the information over. So it's not something that happens instantaneously, but it's really beneficial. I really, really love this update. And hopefully this step-by-step tutorial helps you to be able to set this up, set it up, make sure you integrate it, make sure you go into your settings and you move this BeCool feature to somewhere where you can easily see it. And for me, it just saves my team a lot of time and a lot of hassle and just makes the workflow easier. And when you're new and you're maybe just getting started, maybe this workflow isn't very important to you, but when you're scaling from a couple thousand a month to 5 to 10 to 20 to 30 to 50,000 a month, plus all these little processes and systems, they add up to a lot of time. So my team is super excited about this, and hopefully you are as well. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and show some love. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. And if you want to try BeCool for 30 days extended free trial, they hooked me up with a really cool free trial offer for you guys. You can check that out down below, rakeandprofit.com/BeCool. Also, if you want to check out SellerAmp, there's a link down below, rakeandprofit.com/SellerAmp. And just want to say thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.